Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue à votre webinaire hebdomadaire pour Team Lion. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes le mercredi 8 mars. Bonne journée internationale de la femme à toutes et à tous. C'est une journée spéciale dans la vie de plein de femmes aujourd'hui. Puis on peut célébrer tout le travail et les avancements qu'on a fait dans les dernières années. Je pense qu'on vit dans un moment où est-ce qu'on est privilégié, si on veut, de pouvoir assumer notre pleine féminité, notre indépendance. Alors, j'espère qu'aujourd'hui, vous allez souligner le fait que vous êtes une femme et que vous en êtes fière. Donc, aujourd'hui, on a une invitée avec nous. Je vais passer rapidement pour lui donner la parole parce qu'elle a plein de choses à partager avec nous. Donc, today we have a special guest on our call, Kim ROSA-LIMA, and I met Kim at Leadership not long ago by the pool, and we had a nice chat, and we just clicked. I just really loved spending time with her. It was just that energy that I really enjoyed, and we chatted a bit, and she invited me to be on her call, and I was like, man, I want you on my call too. So we're honored today to welcome her to the call. She is an 11-star diamond coach. She's a 3-time elite coach, Success Club legend. She just returned from the Marketing Impact Academy that was hosted by Chalene Johnson just last week. And she'll be teaching us today about how going live can completely change our business and help us attract our lifer. So please take it away, Kim. I'll be taking a ton of notes. So the floor is yours. Oh, you're muted. Hold on. I got you. You're good.
Thank you. So I took 3 years of French, and I didn't understand any of it.
That's good.
So I needed to pay better attention because this was coming up in my life. But thank you so much for letting me speak on your call. I'm honored that you feel like I can be of help to your coaches. And so thank you for those of you who are on the call. I went to the Marketing Impact this past weekend, and I felt like there was this overriding message. And the overriding message was, be unique, be yourself, and stop trying to be popular. Because popular is not really going to get you the people that are going to change your business. Popular is actually not going to give you the people that you are destined to actually help in life. Popular is just popular. And so one of the things that they spent a great deal of time this weekend was really talking about the power of live video. So I wanted to show you guys that. Let me share my screen. There we go. I'm so impressed when I know how to do this. It actually works. So one of the things that, I tell my coaches is that if you're frustrated with the types of customers you're getting or the lack of customers, there's really only one person that you can blame, and that's yourself. And it's not, hey, I'm a bad person and I'm terrible and everything else like that. It's that you hold the key to changing this. And for a lot of my coaches who struggle and tell me, well, I'm not getting the right people, or, the people that are coming in don't want to build a business. I tell them that the greatest thing is that you hold the key and that you can really just take a look at what you're doing so that can turn around. I know when I first started coaching, I actually didn't know who I was looking for. I was just glad people wanted to come with me. And sometimes, you're so grateful for those people who come into your business in the beginning, but sometimes they're not a fit for your business. Sometimes, they're not ready to go to the next level. And so that's why you really need to start looking at what words are coming out of my mouth. What am I showing across my social media so that I can bring in the right people? And the biggest thing that I've realized is that my job is to establish trust with people. Because trust is what gets people to go on a health journey with you. Trust is what gets people to say, you know what, Kim, I think this whole business is kind of crazy, but I'm going to trust that you tell me that these things I write on my dream board can actually come true. And so when you realize that your job is to get people to trust you, you're really not so much interested in trying to be popular. You're really interested in trying to be authentic. You're really interested in trying to connect with other people. And so if you want to establish trust, one of the greatest tools that you have is live video. Literally, it's the number one way to fast track a trust relationship, because something happens when you see somebody on video. Like, you guys don't even know me, but you probably have already come to some conclusions about me just seeing me speak. And that's why it's so critical that you do this. Now, I don't do anything perfect. And one of the things that I have realized with live video is the things that I do wrong, the things that like I say, lots of times like things have happened, like cameras have fallen, like the dogs start barking. People are like fascinated with that. And they're fascinated with like this life, this everyday life that you have. And you give people a glimpse into that. And it establishes trust. I still have people that tell me that when they sign up, they're like, you have the cutest accent. I'm like, I'm from New Jersey. I don't think I have an accent. But people like, they fall in love with it. And, I like to laugh. And so most people will tell me that they find that my laugh is addictive and they love to hear it. And so, a lot of people follow me on Snapchat because I'm always laughing and stuff. So the first thing you should know about live is some tips. And the first tip is really interesting, that most everyone watches a video on mute. Very small amounts of people watch a video at like full blast or full volume, because most of the time they're at work. Most of the time they're watching a video like in the doctor's office or somewhere, like waiting in line, and they don't want the video to blast. And so you need to come with energy. Your energy needs to leap off the screen. And so like if I show up and I do a live video and I'm like this, right? Like, I'm going to tell you how to lose weight. Like, nobody's watching that. But if I'm like, hey guys, I'm here and I have some tips. Oh my God, 5 tips that are going to be awesome. People are going to stop. People are going to be like, oh wait, I think I might want to hear that lady. Or they might save it, or they might go back to it. And so it's almost interesting. It's interesting that they have found that you almost need to bring twice as much energy to a video as you would in just having a conversation. And so, you know what? You need to kind of like be a little more of an actor and kind of like, it's kind of, I always tell people, it's kind of like act like you just drank some Energize and then do a live video. And then you'll know what that feeling is, right? Because when that Energize hits, it's like, whoa, I'm ready. That's what you need to do. And it doesn't need to be fake. It doesn't need to be phony or anything like that. It's just like, sometimes I can say to people, you can look in their eyes. They have like a sparkle in their eyes, like their shoulders go back. And so I tell my coaches when they get on screen to practice, like I jump up and down before I get on a call, before I get on a video. And that's called like changing your state if you're involved with Tony Robbins' organization, because I need to harness that energy in order to do it. And so this is actually wrong. It's not 25 seconds. You have 2 to 5 seconds to grab somebody's attention. And it's just like when you go in and you meet somebody for the first time, you have 2 to 5 seconds to make a first impression. And so your live videos are the same way. So here are some top 10 tips. And the first thing is, I see a lot of these videos, right? And they do live videos. And what do? We're like, hey guys, I'm not sure if this is working or not. Can you guys like give me a sign that you're on there? Like, So that's like your whole 2 minutes of your video. You've already lost people. People have clicked on that and they're like, I don't know what the heck she's doing. And we all do it. So I'm not saying I'm an expert. It was like something that was brought to my attention. I was like, oh yeah, that is silly. So tell people why it matters to them immediately. Say to them, hey guys, if you are somebody that just can't seem to lose those 10 pounds, I have like 3 tips for you that have made such a huge difference that if I didn't tell you this, I would be doing you a disservice. So you know what? If you're somebody that you are just, you cannot lose that last 10 pounds, I want you to listen to me. Let people know up front what you're going to do. The next thing you need to do is explain to people what you're going to talk about. People love numbers. People love 3 tips. People love 5 tips. And so if you can do a number that way, or just say, like today I already, I'm speaking at 2:00 on my live, on my page. And I said, the 5 things you need to give up in order to lose weight. Now, everybody tuning in, they think that I'm going to tell them that they can't eat cake and I'm going to tell them that they need to stop quitting. They need to, so I'm going to switch it around. But I'm going to let them know ahead of time what I'm going to be talking about. Let people know who it's for. I have been recently kind of rebranding myself a little because I'm 45. I'll be 46 in 6 months. And so I kind of like started to transfer my brand a little to specifically working with women over 40. And I've really kind of come out. It used to be that I was just a young looking 40-year-old. And so I really didn't talk about it. But now I feel very much driven to help women who are over 40 because I do see such a struggle. And I feel like those women, there's, everybody's kind of trying to go after the millennial, the young kids. And I'm like, but there's such a segment of women that deserve to feel amazing. And I want to go after that. And so I tell people in my live video, hey ladies over 40, I'm talking to you. And then I say that. It might be for you, like if you're, if your demographic is you're working with brides or whatever, or you're working with mommies who just had babies, like you call that out so that they know. Tell them, hey girls, do you have a friend that is over 40? Tag them in this so that they can watch this. Start pulling out those people. Number 4, let people know your related experience. You do not have to be an expert, but you do need to let people know why she should listen to you. I mean, honestly, I'm over 40, like I've said, and if you're trying to help me lose weight and you don't know what it's like when your body changes over 40, I don't know if I'm going to listen to you. And so just the fact that, hey, I know what it's like to be over 40, have your body change. I tell people that. I tell people what my related experience. Shout yourself out. Don't feel like you need to be an expert, but just let people know, like, hey, I've been there. Another thing, number 5. So when you're waiting for people to like jump on, because usually I try not to give information until at least 10 people have jumped on to my live video. Call them to comment. Instead of saying, hey, are you on? Say, hey guys, where are you watching from today? Like, what state are you from? What country are you from? And what's funny is I have people that watch my video like later on and they will still comment. They will be like, California, Texas. And that actually lets you know also who's watching you and who's interested. One of the silly things that Shailene Johnson did is she's like, just ask people like, hey, do you have a dog or a cat in your house? And people will be compelled to like answer those things. So the thing is that gives you comments, and in Facebook land and IG land, that actually makes your video more popular, that you have the commentary that's going on there. Don't do this, because this is something that I did and I never realized it. So you might see like your friend pop on and you'd be like, hey, Mary, hi, Mary, how are you? Guess what? The only person that knows, that cares about that is Mary and you. And you've just disconnected from the rest of the audience. And so even though you want people to feel, welcomed and stuff like that, you don't want to kind of do those one-on-one interactions. The next thing is, don't be afraid to talk about topics that aren't your brand, right? Because sometimes I think we get so branded that we forget that we're human beings, and we forget that we might have something that might be interesting. For instance, an example, my coach works in a hospital, and her brand is fitness, and she's kind of like in your face kind of person and feisty, but she feels like there's a real need for people to know about living wills, because she deals with it every day. Every day she deals with families that don't have a living will. And so that's a heavy topic, right? And it doesn't really work with her brand, but yet it can be one of the most viewed videos, because people are going to be like, wow, I never realized I need a living will. That's that trust connection there. And so think out of the box. You might be an expert in something that's not your brand, but yet everybody can actually benefit from. Show up consistently. I do a live video every day, whether I look like poopy or not. And sometimes I have a lot of women that tell me that they love that, some days I have a full face of makeup and I look pretty. And then other days I look like I haven't showered, and, I haven't gotten dressed, but yet I'm still giving value, because that makes them feel like they don't need to be perfect. And so get consistently. For me, I try to go live at lunchtime. And so most of the people that follow my page know that I will be there at lunchtime. For some people, they find at night is something that they can commit to. Sometimes people tell people when they're going to be on. They make a whole schedule, Monday, we're going to talk about this, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so you can start to get people to kind of follow you. And I think what's funny is that once you develop that trust, people want to see you. One of my best coaches, she's a 4-star coach, and she told me, she was like, you know what? When you didn't show up, I was mad at you. I was like, where is Kim? What is she doing? I'm waiting for her. And that's the kind of camaraderie you want with the people who follow you. They miss you. Pick 2 platforms and do it. I personally do Snapchat and I do Facebook Live. I have gotten more customers, even though it sounds silly, from Snapchat than anything that I have done. I don't know what it is about Snapchat that makes people want to join me. Probably it's because they really get me all the time. That's actually my first thing that I pick in social media, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. They get a lot of my kids, they get a lot of my dog, so they really get me. And so it's really helped people do that. And so when I have a coaching opportunity, when I have a challenge group, I will take the picture that goes I might have posted in Facebook, and I will put it into Snapchat. And I will just say, hey guys, this is my new group. If you're looking to join us, and then I will put my email. If you follow Amy Silverman, does it really well. She connects the business with the real life kind of stuff, because believe it or not, people love your real life. People love when I tape a conversation with my husband, because they like to see what's her relationship like and things like that. And they love to see me with my boys. And so, sometimes I think we need to be this other person when we just really need to be ourselves. Give them somewhere to go. And so at the end of your video, let people know you have a challenge group coming up. Let people know that if they're interested in what you do, even if it had nothing to do with coaching, and if I have a coaching opportunity, I might end the live video with like, hey guys, do you believe this is my job? Like I get to go live on Facebook and stuff and tell you guys tips. You know, I don't know if this is for you, but I'm running a group. And so if you want to find out more information, that just say, send more information on the thing and I'll get you the information. Give people another place to go now that they've tuned in to your video. And then last but not least, you need to bring your energy. Again, you know what? I'm a firm believer that we all don't wake up in great moods, but I do believe that you can change your mood. And so if you have to stand on your head, if you have to jump up and down, if you have to like blast music in your ears to get that energy, make sure you harness it, because you only have one chance to get people to catch them. And energy, I really feel, is very, it's an attraction thing. It really is. And sometimes I like to say in my business, the months that I'm killing it, my energy is just really great. It's not so much what I'm saying as much as the energy. When you're doing live videos, your story should always kind of come across. We always think that we have this one story, but we don't. We have like a ton of stories. That's what's so cool about us. And I tell my coaches this specifically. If you're going through a tough time, don't talk about that right now. Like if you're like suffering through it, that's not stuff you need to share because you're not healed from it. But there are a lot of stuff that you can share about. Maybe, you are getting your exercise in and that helps with anxiety. Nobody has to know what your anxiety is from, but they can know that you suffer from it and that this is things that you can do. And so it allows you to lean into the business without, in those difficult times. And so you have tons and tons of stories. I know that every time I look at a product that we sell, every time I look at a different program, every time my life has changed, there's a story to it. Like I personally on Transformation Tuesday, try to share a different aspect of how my life has changed because of Beachbody. It might be my skin one day. It might be the fact that, like today I talked about the fact that I didn't trust women. I really didn't trust women. And now I run an organization full of over 2,000 women. And it's all based on the fact that we freaking love each other. So that's a part of my story that I shared. A lot of people retell a story. They don't relive it. And what you need to do is you need to relive it so that people can connect with it. And the way I was taught is it's almost like right before the crescendo, right before the thing that happened, that's when you need to bring people in. Like one of my coaches was sharing, she lost 30 pounds. And, so for her crescendo, it was one day she got out of the shower and she has like a full mirror and she stepped out of the shower and she looked in the mirror and she started crying. And she was just like, I don't know how I got here. Like I'm a former athlete. Like I've always taken care of my body. And when she told that story, she connected with every woman who has ever looked in the mirror and cried, has ever been a former athlete and is not a former athlete anymore because they've let their fitness go by. And that's why when you relive the story, you get people in there. One of the mistakes I was talking about is that we have this thing that we want to be popular and we want to have like 100, like, trust me, I would love to have a page with 100,000 likes on it. My page is about, I think, 14,000 likes. And honestly, when my page was 1,000 likes, I was still hitting Success Club 40, Success Club 50. And so likes don't necessarily mean lifers. They don't necessarily mean connection. And so, what Shailene Johnson talked about is the fact that sometimes you can start adding things into your page that kind of shift the people out who don't belong in your page. Like, I like to curse. I curse. I have a potty mouth. There are probably people that because I curse will not be a part of my team. And it's okay because they probably don't belong on my team. And there's probably another amazing coach that can be that for that person. And so, when you look at that funnel, it's like any funnel that we use in our business. We're really shifting so that we get the people that want to work with us, the people that we're best equipped to help, and that we have a good fit for. One of the things that people do is, she talked about Beachbody coaches, because that's what we all are, that Beachbody coaches sometimes wonder why they don't get people who want to work the business when all they talk about is fitness, right? And so she called those low-hanging fruit ideas, meaning that people are always going to come to your page if you tell them that you're going to teach them how to lose fat, or you're going to teach them, how to get rid of the belly, right? You're going to, your net is going to be huge for those ideas. But if you really, truly want to start figuring out who your people are that are going to work the business and going to work it just as hard as you, because let's face it, guys, if you're on the call today, you're exceptional. You know that being a part of a training and doing things is something you need to do. Not everybody's like that. And so you need to start figuring out, well, I want hardworking people. Do you talk about being hardworking on your page? I like people who like self-development. Do you talk about self-development on your page? Those are things that you need to start talking about. They might not be your most popular videos. They might not be your most liked stuff, but they may shift out the people that you need to work with. One of the things she talked about is that sometimes we post because somebody else told us to post it, or somebody else told us, that's the new thing, right? We hear that a lot in Beachbody. And I got to tell you, I personally do not follow any of the top coaches. It's not that I don't love them or that I don't value them. It's that I am such a creative person that when I spend too much time of information coming into my space in my newsfeed, it interferes with my creativity and it blocks my own thinking. And, hey, if you're having a bad day, it can even make you feel icky, and it can even make you feel like, oh, there she goes again. And she's got like 20 comments. And everybody wants to join her group and nobody wants to join me. Like, right? We've done that. And so don't do that. And so, if I want to check out what a top coach is doing, I will go there on a day that I feel amazing about myself. I'm not going to go there on a day where I should be pouring myself into personal development. And sometimes when people are on your news feed, you don't have control over that. And so you should have to be careful of that. One of the examples she gave was that, we all run our businesses differently. I personally don't talk a lot about money, even though money is amazing. And women need to know that this is definitely a vehicle that they can make a large amount of money if they help enough people. But the thing is that especially women have so many weird things to do with money. And some women don't think they can make money. Other women think that they don't deserve money. And so you have to be careful. But if I start crafting posts and start doing videos on being significant, on how much Beachbody makes me feel important, how much Beachbody makes me feel fulfilled, you have women that are like, because nobody has a bad story about a time when they felt significant. But yet people might have a bad story about when money was involved, right? We don't know other people's stories. And so just in that shift, you might bring people in. Things to think about, like when you're doing your live videos, when you're making a list of videos, who do you want to attract? And I often tell my coaches that when they give me their list, I'm like, make it even more specific. I'm like, I want to know what supermarket they have, right? Because I don't know how it is in Canada, but in New Jersey or in the United States, there's usually like 2 or 3 supermarkets. And like, I want to know which specific supermarket you go to, because there's something about you that makes you go to that supermarket, right? And so be specific, because when you're that specific, you're going to that much better bring those people in. who are you tired of attracting? I got to tell you, in 2016, I think was one of those years that kind of teaches us a lot of stuff. And I think that there was a lot of stuff I was tired of. And so I was tired of women who kind of never wanted to do something, like never wanted to act, never wanted to push the button, because I recruited a lot of women into my business, but I did not see that there was only a small percentage of those women that were teachable, that were coachable, that were like, okay, Kim, I'm going to go and I'm going to do it. And I was like, I have to take responsibility for that. And I realized that last year, I didn't feel well myself. I was sick. I got sick at the end of the year. And so, I might have been somehow talking about that, like talking about there's this thing now about self-love, and I'm a huge believer in self-love, but I also think that you need to push yourself. And I also think that you need to ask more about yourself and stuff. And I don't think that I delivered that message as much last year. And so maybe that's why I brought in those kind of people. What does your ideal person find interesting? And so if you watch live videos, what topics do you see? Like, I know for me, if I like the headline that somebody used for their live video, like it made me want to watch it, I write it down. If I see something like an email that comes in that gets my attention, I write it down. I just keep it in my notes here so that I have it. Again, less popular, more specific. And what I tell my coaches to do is make a list of 30 live videos that you can do that have nothing to do with health and fitness. And it's actually kind of fun when you think about that to do. And so one of the things that I talked about earlier is sometimes in marketing, we need to market to people what they think they need and then give them what they really need. For instance, I'm going to talk at 2:00 today about the 5 things that they need to lose they need to stop doing in order to lose weight. Those people are like, yes, give it to me. Make it awful, right? Because that's what women construe about losing weight. They construe like, I gotta stop eating those cupcakes, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that. So they'll turn in. But what I'm going to give them is what they really need. They really need to stop talking negatively about themselves. They really need to stop getting on the scale every day. Those kind of things. And so, think about what people think they need, and then you deliver what they really need. And that's really the difference between marketing, bringing in marketing, and coaching. I also wanted to talk about YouTube because I personally do a lot of YouTube for my coaches, but I do not do it in terms of getting new clients. And then when I heard these statistics, I was like, well, that's dumb, Kim. Especially because a lot of the content can be recreated. I mean, you could take your live videos and save them and then just download them to YouTube. So 53% of the time when people Google things, it's going to come up with a video rather than a text or rather than a post. And they've actually figured out that Facebook is actually going to be mostly videos. That is where this whole kind of social media thing is going, to videos. YouTube predicts the exact phrases your people are searching for. And I got to tell you, have you ever been guilty? Our food processor broke down in Florida, and I didn't know how to fix it. And so I literally Googled, how do you fix the and so you have to figure out what are your people putting into YouTube so that your videos can come up. It's the second most search engine. And so Google is number 1. YouTube is number 2. And so when people are looking for health and fitness or, business ideas and things like that, they're using YouTube. And why not can it be you that comes up? One of the things that I am very guilty of is not using keywords and tags in my video. And the thing is that when you use keywords and tags, hashtags, don't use Don't use general ones like fitness. Don't use like weightlifting, because if somebody puts in weightlifting, I would really doubt that at least me is going to come up as the number one video. But if you can get a hashtag that maybe has to do with the specific people that you're looking for, your video might have higher up there, and stuff like that. So one of the things that I didn't know about YouTube, so you can put underscore and let's say put meal prep in, and it will give you all the things that people searched. So it'll give you all the words that people searched for underscore meal prep. Guess what the number one searched thing is on YouTube? 21-day fix meal prep. And if you put in meal prep after, most people put in meal prep vegetarian, meal prep vegan. And so you can see all those ideas to help you start to figure out, well, wait, what is my person kind of searching for? You can also search the alphabet. You can put in the letter A underscore meal prep. Maybe it's Advocare meal prep, or maybe, well, I don't know, they eat wafers, that's what I do, but I don't think there's any meal prepping. But you can look at like all the things that people have searched for that. So that gave me a lot of huge ideas to go look. Top 5 YouTube mistakes. People do a really weak intro. They don't talk about who they are. There's no energy. They kind of are like, I don't know why I'm here kind of situation. You know, it's one thing to feel like, you know, you're new at this, but you don't have to act like you're new at it. You don't, you know, I should have shared with you my video. My 9-year-old has his own YouTube channel, and he has like 10,000 subscribers. And he did like a video last night, and like he like jumped in his chair and he's like, hey guys, this is what we're going to do. And he's 9 and he's like figured this out, but he watches YouTube. He doesn't watch TV. I don't know if you guys have little boys at home, but they don't watch TV. They watch these YouTube videos of these people playing video games. It's like the craziest thing, but he figured it out. Don't have a distracting background. Like, try to create a nice background. I actually took a class where that was one of the lessons, was to create a section of your house where you do videos where it kind of looks nice, where your background isn't, you know, you don't have like an unmade bed behind you or whatever. I think my taxes are over here, so I probably didn't take my own advice, but the next thing is lack of planning. One of the things that I do when I do a live video is I have a Post-it, and I just put on my Post-it like the 3 things I want to make sure that I hit on, because sometimes I can go on tangents. And so I have that right in front of me. So lack of planning is another thing. And then the last thing is that sometimes people do a video and it's very self-focused. It's, I'm going to tell you, rather than being audience focused, rather than asking the audience questions, rather than being like, hey guys, do you think that? Do you think that that's the way things are? Because you kind of want people to talk things out. So let's say you're going to do a video. These are the 5 parts that should be a part of your video. The first thing is a hook. Why are they here? People want to know when they first watch your video, should they stay? And when you let them know why they're here and you present a pretty compelling reason, they will stay. Number 2, introduce yourself. Come up with a thing about you. Like for me, I kind of always say, hey, I'm Kim Lima. I'm a health and fitness coach, boy mom, and I love working with women over 40 to help simplify their life. So figure out like a way that you can kind of like succinctly put your thing that who you are. Let people know the content you're going to give in the beginning. So let them know you're going to learn 3 ways that you can drastically, cut fat from your diet or whatever it is. Let them know that. Let them know what's going to come up. ask them a question. Ask them, like, hey guys, I've been talking a lot to you. What do you think is the biggest issue for women when they're trying to lose those last 10 pounds? Because the more comments you can get on the video, the more comments you can get, especially of people talking to other people, the more your video goes up in terms of search engine kind of stuff. And then last but not least, like I said before, a call to action. Send them somewhere. I remember I used to watch a lot of Brittany Leggetti training videos, and at the end of her video, she would always say, if you want to know more information about coaching, go here and have that. And YouTube has that all set up so that you can do that very, very easily. And so I'm going to leave you with some homework because I'm a former teacher. And so I always love to give people homework. Think about 5 live videos that would not attract people you don't want. And so just like I said, like we could do a video that could bring in likes. Think about a video that brings in your people, but maybe keeps people who you really don't want to work with at bay. And it takes some thinking, because it takes some thinking about what people you don't want and what people you do want. Write 3 different ways to say the same thing. For instance, if Shakeology has helped you with your cravings, figure out 3 different ways to say that. Figure out 3 different scenarios where you could prove that. Like for me, it might be that, hey, I'm in the supermarket and I used to get a candy bar every time I was at the supermarket, and I don't even do that anymore. It doesn't even occur to me like, oh my God, like I used to do that. So that's one way. Another way would be that, I would always be in the kitchen at night because I would always want to eat. It was like a non-negotiable thing that I would be in the kitchen eating after the kids went to bed. That doesn't happen. And so when you can come up with all these different scenarios, it makes your argument better. Use that search engine in YouTube and see what comes up when you start typing things in there, because it's really interesting to see what comes up. Like I typed in like over 40, and there's not too many videos in there. So I'm thinking, hey, this is my opportunity to do that. One of the things that I wanted to leave you with is sometimes as coaches, we think we know people's struggle, but we don't go back far enough. And the example I'm going to give you is I just came back from Shailene Johnson's business academy, right? To learn how to build my business. I didn't come to Shailene Johnson being a woman who needed to build a business. She attracted me because she had this program called the Courageous Confidence Club. And her whole spiel was, if you're shy, if you are somebody who is like an introvert and you feel like something's wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a set of skills that you have not developed, and I can teach you to them, and then you'll feel better. And I was like, sign me up, because that was me. Like you see me now hosting this video. That was not me 2 years ago. And so she met me back where my struggle is. And so now I'm joining her for business mentorships and things like that. And so sometimes when we think about our ideal person, we need to think about their struggle and then go, okay, well, what's the real struggle? And what's the real struggle? And what's the real struggle? And when you start providing live videos about those struggles, it's almost like you start to breadcrumb them in so that they're like, okay, I'm ready to sign up for you. So that is all I have. I'm going to stop my share. Ooh.
That was so good. So good. And one of the things I wrote down, that came to my mind was I wanted to tell you how good of a teacher you are. I didn't know you were a former teacher, but it makes so much sense. That was really, really on point, and learned a lot. And I'm sure everybody on the call is like thinking, okay, what am I going live? What am I going to talk about? So super excited to go live myself. So thank you so much for taking the time with us today. I was wondering, is it your presentation, is that something you'd be willing to share?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think, especially for our French coaches, I could totally share that with them. But I mean, like, pretty much everybody understands English, but I think that could be a future call for me to take examples on what you shared. That was really, really good. So many good nuggets. Sylvie was asking here if you go live during the weekend.
I might go live during the weekend, but it might be kind of like fun stuff. So it might be things that I'm doing with my boys or kind of lighthearted. Sunday night, I do go live every day and share my meal prepping. And that is kind of like one of the number one videos that people watch. They want to see what I'm going to eat. And so I show them exactly what I've made for the week. I show them exactly what goes into one day's. And women love that. Like they love having that physical, like, okay, this is what it looks like.
Awesome. Thank you. Susie's saying that she loves your energy, and I'm not surprised about that. How do you plan your life? Like, what does that look like for your schedule? Like, do you sit up like, and you're like, okay, I'm going to plan all my social media posts and stuff for the week. How does that work for you?
So for me, the problem, and I'm trying to get better at this, is I run by the seat of my pants. And so, yeah, I know. And the thing is that sometimes that doesn't help my coaches because not all of my coaches are people like that. So I do at least try to figure out, like I told my page today, they normally expect to see me at noon. And so I put a post it there at noon and said, hey, come see me at 2:00, whatever. I'm just kind of always trying to think of ideas that will help them. And sometimes if it's what I struggle with, it might be like what I struggled with that day. And I will go live and I do try to jot down like those 3 to 5 things so that I'm not kind of completely rambling, whatever. And then I do try to sometimes have a theme. And so maybe the theme is like self-development. And so maybe the first day is like these 3 books were the ones that changed my life. And maybe the next video is, how to go to Barnes & Noble and pick a book out and things like that. Try to put them together if I'm good.
That's really good. I'm very spontaneous myself too. So sometimes it's a struggle, but like you said, as long as you're consistent and you're present every day, but then sometimes we do have to have that discipline to schedule it in if we find ourselves that we're not being consistent with our presence on social media. Where do you send people? Do you send them to your email or for your call to action?
So it's funny how life changes because I used to send everybody to a Google document to sign up.
Okay.
For some reason that stopped working. And now what works is when they post on my thing, like, yeah, sign me up or I'm ready or whatever. And so, that's what seems to be working now is
okay.
just.
And I'm curious to know, to conclude the call, what you're reading right now, what you're doing for personal development.
So I am reading I Am That Girl. I just started it. It's really good. I just finished. This is another great one. Get Over Your Damn Self.
I bought that one recently.
So this is the first book that I tell my coaches who really want to work the business, like not my kind of hobby. The ones that want to work the business, this is really awesome because Go Pro is, I think, very masculine.
Okay.
And I think that this explains multi-level marketing with a feminine kind of twist to it.
I didn't even know it was about network marketing.
Yeah. I think she used to work for Rodan and Fields.
Oh.
And she really talks about like why it's important to have a why it's important to tell your story, and even how to do the business, like time management. Like for women, I think for those of us who are moms, time management is really something that I think we all feel like we're not good at. And so it really is helpful.
Okay. Get Over Your Damn Self. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Because there is the get over yourself.
Yeah. But we learned today that it doesn't matter. We don't want to be popular. We just you want to attract the people like us. And I think that was really a good nugget right there because it's true. We're like numbers game. We want the most we want the most comments. But at the end of the day, if our turnover is not good, like if we're not turning anybody into customers and coaches, then at the end of the day, our funnel is not being very efficient. And I'm taking that really seriously from your message to really create content that will actually push people away that I actually maybe not that I don't want to work with, but I understood recently too that I can't help everybody. I'm not equipped to help everybody.
Yeah.
So there's someone out there who has got a different style that might be equipped to help that person, but I'm not, and it's okay to just say, hey, we're not meant to be working together, and that's fine.
And sometimes it's not that you're trying to be offensive to the people. Like,
no.
For me, I start talking about things that only 40-year-olds know about. And so for some of my people, like that's going over their head. And so they're like not connecting as much. Whereas the ones who are over 40 are like, yes, I know exactly what that is. So
thank you so much for your time. This was so awesome. And I will be asking you for your presentation. I think the bullet points were so great. And I can't thank you enough. I hope you have a wonderful day. Really appreciate you taking the time. And we'll chat soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.